welcome to another edition of Shalom CKA. We are here, this is Chef Zoe.
Hi.
We are back again, Chef Danny, because we're here to bring you a really fun lesson today. Passover is over! Yay! What did we have last night?
We had pizza.
We had pizza and pasta, which is what most Ashkenazi Jews have, because we don't have a special celebration other than that when the holiday ends. However, there are Jews that are super lucky because they have a holiday called Mimouna. Mimouna is an ancient Moroccan holiday that the Jews celebrated to end Passover. Now, I don't know about you, but I like this tradition. We may start doing it next year in our household. There's so much to tell you about Mimouna that I learned, and actually from a fantastic teacher by the name of Asher Levy. Asher is super knowledgeable about this, and I was able to learn from him. And now I'm able to provide it to you, but also with the ritualistic dishes that go along with Mimouna. Now, what is Mimouna? Mimouna is the celebration of the end of Passover when we cannot eat any chametz, right? No chametz, which is pretty much bread, any pasta, anything that rises, anything that swells. And so we are eating matzah, and we're eating all these other things that don't have that. And so Mimouna is our celebration and the ability to bust out and start partying and music and having fun and eating tons of chametz. So mostly sweet. This holiday is about sweetness. There is a meal that can go along with it and usually gets served fish, but there are a lot of sweets. What we're going to be making today is something called a Muffuletta. Now, Muffuletta is basically like a crepe. If I had to compare it to an Ashkenazi or a Jewish holiday that we celebrate where we make crepes, it's Shavuot, where we make blintzes, right? And we have cheese or apple, and there's a lot of dairy that gets eaten. A lot of dairy gets eaten in Mimouna as well. And so the crepe recipe I'm going to do for you today that we're going to make our Muffuletta. Now the Muffuletta is a crepe, it's a sweet crepe, and on top of it they put honey, they put powdered sugar, they put syrups, all different kinds of syrups. We're going to make a special jam that goes along with our Mimouna Muffuletta today. We're going to make a very special berry jam to go along with it. So we're going to get started on that. We're going to wash our hands first because we're washing our hands 55 times a day or more. And so we're going to do our best to keep clean. We're going to do it for 20 seconds or so. We're making bubbles. And then we're good. We are going to dry it with a very clean towel. Everybody's buying paper towels, and it's actually a good thing. You don't want to be using regular towels, dish towels, to dry your hands because those could have picked up some germs elsewhere in your kitchen. Thank you. So, Chef Zoe, first things first, we're going to make the berry jam first because that's going to require getting on the heat. And we're going to make it so it's nice and thick, and we can use it as a topping, and even if you wanted to, you could put it inside the Muffuletta. More often than not used as a really yummy topping. So it's a berry jam. We're going to use blueberries and strawberries today in our berry jam. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to cut up our strawberries. I have a strawberry here that has a stem on it. Clearly we don't want that. And so what I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give Chef Zoe a few that don't have the stem on it, and I'm going to show you using your bear claw, right? You're going to curl your fingers in like this. You are going to put it on top, and we're going to cut the stem off. Here's the thing, a lot of people do that's wrong. All this is really yummy. I don't want to lose it, so I don't want to cut so much strawberry off. I want to cut only the stem off, okay? So we're going to put this on our board, and we're going to, using our bear claw, we're going to give it a quick slice. This is all going to get mashed up, so it's not like the pieces have to be uniform, so don't worry about if the pieces are a little bit bigger, some are smaller, it's okay. We're going to end up mashing all this together. So, Chef Zoe's doing her thing. We're going to take a bowl. Let's put it all in the pool here, Chef Zoe. Let's get it all in. Now, you like strawberries?
Yeah.
So, I love strawberries. You can put any kind of berry you want into it.
Oops.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Let me get that. You can put whatever berry you want. So we have really delicious blackberries. I could have used that. You could use raspberries, strawberries. We're using blueberries. Whatever berries you want to put in this, you're good to go. we have really, really delicious, huge blueberries here. We are also putting in a little bit of strawberry jam. Now the reason we're putting in the strawberry jam, and you say we're making jam, why are we putting strawberry jam in, is that there's something inside the strawberry jam called pectin. The pectin is going to give our jam an opportunity to kind of solidify, get thick, and come together. And so why don't you put that in, get yourself a spatula, and we're going to put the rest of our strawberries in as well. Okay, just like that. Good. Now, here's where you're going to have some fun. I know what you're saying. We're not making potatoes, Chef Danny. But it's okay. We're going to use a potato masher anyway, and we're going to kind of have some fun here, and we're going to mash our fruit together. So come on over here. Let's get a quick look at what we're looking at here. And you're going to see that all of this is going to kind of get incorporated, okay? Now you don't have to do too much of a mash, but you want it all to kind of come together. Now that's good. All right, we're good on the mash. Because again, what I said before was all of this is going to go in the pot, and it's all going to start to bubble up and kind of come together, and you're going to see that it's all going to really come together into one jam. All right, we've got a couple of different ingredients here that we're going to add. We're going to add a little bit of brown sugar, go for it, and then we're going to add some cinnamon. Now, this jam is not super duper duper sweet, so it's not a lot, and you're making a lot of jam, so there is a little bit of brown sugar. You can cut that down a little bit if you want a little bit of a tartar jam. But this is, we added this, and it's going to be not too sweet, because I don't really like super sweet jams. We're going to add a little bit of cinnamon, really yummy cinnamon, and then so give that a quick mix while I do a little bit of lemon. So we're going to add a little bit of citrus. The citrus is going to add a little bit of a tang to it, but before we do that, we have to roll the lemon. Now I already washed this lemon. Why did I wash the lemon? Because I'm touching the lemon, okay? This might have germs on it too, and bacteria, and you're going to see that I'm actually going to squeeze the lemon through my fingers so that I don't get what in there?
Seeds.
I don't want seeds, okay? I don't want seeds. That's not going to taste good on my muffuletta. So I'm going to first roll the lemon. Why am I rolling the lemon?
To get the juices excited.
Exactly. We all got to get excited. So the juices have to get excited too. I love it. Look, there are membranes inside the lemon. You know, when you cut into a lemon, you see like little triangles, yes? Those triangles and the membranes, they grip onto the juice. They don't want to let it go. Our job is to make sure that this gives us the most juice possible. Because you paid for it, you want to get it, you know, or that if you have lucky enough to have a tree that grows these, we have a baby tree. I think it's given us maybe 2 lemons in like 4 years. There's something wrong there. But look, I want to get as much juice out of this as possible. So if you roll it, you're going to break up those membranes.
Now they're excited.
Now these are some excited membranes. And so now feel this though. Check this out.
It's very soft.
Very soft. And by the way, smells way more like a lemon because we've activated the juices and the oils that are inside the zest of this. So if I wanted to zest this, I could, and it would be a really, really vibrant lemony flavor. This is going to add a really powerful zing to our jam, okay? So I'm going to cut this in half. We really only need half of the lemon for this. Now look, what I said before was I am actually using my hands. This is why they need to be clean. I'm going to squeeze this and almost use, and look at all that juice. I'm hardly even squeezing. And you see all that juice? It's going to run through my fingers, and what's not going to run through my fingers are the seeds. Now I've actually gotten a little lucky. I don't think we have any seeds here. But that's going to happen to you. You are going to get seeds, and you don't want them in the jam. All right. So I love how you finish my sentences for me. This is good. I need this help. So look, this is what we have. Okay. Now you say, Chef Danny, this is so loose. How in the world is this possibly going to come together as a jam? And I'm going to show you. We need to actually go over to the stovetop, but you're going to help me, and we're going to get there in a second. I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing. We're going to add something called a slurry. You know what a slurry is? It's not it doesn't have to do with wintertime. That's snowy and slushy. But a slurry is going to help that become the jam we want it to be and get really, really super thick. And you're going to see how we do that in 2 seconds. Come on back. All right, so we're back, and as you can see, our jam is coming up to temperature. It's getting really bubbly and hot, and so just by doing that, it's going to get thicker for sure, because it's going to reduce, because you see the evaporation of the liquid coming up. The more that happens, the more the liquid inside of there and the contents will reduce. We're going to speed that process up. I have here some cornstarch. All I need is about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, maybe even a little bit less. You can get the recipe from info@culinarykidsacademy.com. We're going to add a tiny bit of water, about a tablespoon of water, and I'm going to mix this together. So we're going to add our slurry into our jam. Now, you're going to see what that's going to do. Automatically, immediately, it's going to start to thicken up. Now, come on, you're going to see it start to get creamy, and you're going to start to see it thicken. Look, see how it kind of pulls away? Just that fast. It's going to get thick and really, 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 really kind of like the jam we're looking for. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit on the burner. We're going to let it simmer for literally only a couple of more minutes, and let all of those fruits kind of play together in there, have a good time. And then we're going to pull it off, and we're going to chill it down. Now, you could chill it in the refrigerator and make it happen fast, or you could just put it off to the side and let it kind of congeal and come together and cool down. You could serve this warm, or you could serve this like jam where it's on the cooler side. Up to you. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to let this simmer right now. I'm going to cover it just like that, so that we're going to trap the heat in, and then we're going to come back to that, and it's going to be really yummy jam you'll see in the end. All right, so we are back, getting ready to make our muffuletta. And I want to, before we do that, give you a little bit of background on exactly what Mimouna is supposed to do, and who do you celebrate it with? Because believe it or not, it's not just Jews that do this together. The origin of the holiday is that in Morocco, what happened was the Jews would sell their chametz, that they couldn't eat during Pesach, to their Muslim neighbors. This was a time when the Muslim population and the Jewish population of Morocco got along really, really well, which is obviously something that we look for today. And I think it's a really wonderful theme of this holiday. So the Muslim neighbors would buy the chametz, and at the end of the holiday, they would bring the flour and the other chametz back to their Jewish neighbors and friends, and they would help them celebrate the end of the holiday with them. So it was a time that neighbors would get together of different ethnic backgrounds and different religions and be able to enjoy and celebrate that time. And it's all about prosperity. It's all about celebrating family and togetherness and just a positive, really wonderful future, because it actually is the kind of springboard to spring. And in spring, beautiful things bloom, and our world kind of flourishes and blooms, and really positive things are ahead. We're hoping that for us right now as well, yes?
Yes.
So, so this was a really wonderful holiday, and I think it provides us with really good examples of how we should be today, you know, in general. So, the rituals from Mimouna, very, very, not hard and fast, because there were different rituals in different households, but the thing that they did mostly was they had a lot of green. A ton of green going on. This is mint. One of the things on Mimouna that you're supposed to do is take mint and put it on the table. They also had something called hadassim. Hadassim are really long, not palm fronds, but they also had palm fronds. Hadassim are like stalks, green stalks, almost like on Sukkot when we do the lulav, right? Hadassim are like that, and they would put 5 of them out on their table. So just think about this. You have, smell that, that's awesome.
I can smell it from over here.
I know, it's fantastic. So think about it. You have the greenery, you have the smells, you have the hadassim. What does it signify to you? All this green?
It's spring and blooming.
Exactly, spring and blooming and life, right? And so they also had one other custom. They would go to the ocean, bring water from the ocean, bring it back and put it on their table to signify the Jews crossing the sea. and the ending of Pesach and the beginning of freedom and newness and spring and prosperity. So this is really wonderful, wonderful holiday. All right, we'll get back to a little bit more about Mimouna in a little bit, and I'm going to tell you what you say to your friends on Mimouna, because there is a very, very specific greeting, just like on Rosh Hashanah, right? What do we say?
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. On Mimouna, there's a very specific way of greeting your neighbor and about this really wonderful time that's ahead and the celebration we're about to have. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's start making our Muffuletta, which is no different than a regular crepe. And what we're going to do is we are going to use a blender. We have a blender here. Now you could do this in a bowl with a whisk, no problem. We have a blender here, we're going to use it. Most people have some form of this. And the recipe is very, very simple. So we're going to take a little bit of milk. I'm going to have the recipe that you're going to be able to get from us, just because I don't need to make 10 or 15 crepes, although that will probably go over pretty well tonight. But we're going to have probably 5 or 6 of them with our berry sauce. And do me a favor, Zoe, shut that berry sauce off. I just reminded myself. That's simmering right now. We're going to let that cool in a little bit.
Do you want me to take off the lid?
Yeah, take it off. Take off the lid and take off the burner. Thank you. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to add in our milk. And then we're going to start to add in our other ingredients. I have flour here, regular flour. That goes in. We have a little bit of sugar. That's going to go in. And we have melted butter. While Zoe does that, I'm going to pour in a little bit of salt. Just a pinch of salt. And then I'm going to do 1 egg. Okay? You see, it's really, really quite simple. And just a very touch of water. Not too much. Now this is going to get blended up really, really, really well. You don't want lumps. So if you are using a whisk, you kind of want to avoid the lumps. And you're going to just put it on a slow, and then you want to rev that up a little bit if you have that ability. Now again, we're done. Remember, this is not a pancake batter. It should not be super thick. This is a crepe batter, so it's on the thinner side, so don't worry about it if you think, oh my gosh, this is too thin. You want it to be on the thinner side because, again, we're making really light, thin crepes. Okay, we have our blended Muffuletta batter. It's not a batter, it's kind of loose, but that's okay, like I said. And you're gonna come on over and we're gonna teach you how to make crepes. Now, most people are afraid of this. It's easy. If you follow what I'm gonna do for you, you're gonna be able to make this every day. It's gonna be super easy for you. Don't be intimidated by it. Come on back. Welcome back. We're ready to start making crepes. Don't be afraid. You can use a ladle to dish out the batter, but I'm not going to do that because I have the blender here and it's going to provide me what I need. Zoe, let me have the spray. So you want, first of all, I will warn you, the first crepe is always the worst. And so don't be intimidated if the first one doesn't come out okay. You can just discard that and usually every crepe after that will come out great. So now I want you to watch. I'm going to pour this in and I'm going to put it in the center. That was a lot. I didn't need to do that much, but that's okay. And you're going to swirl it around. Now I'm going to lower the heat because I do not want, you see how it's swirled all the way around, and you're going to see that the edges are going to get brown. As soon as the edges start to come away from the pan, and I can lift them out using this is called an offset spatula. It's a tiny offset spatula. A lot of people use it to decorate cakes. This is also a really great way of using it. You can use a regular spatula if you don't have one of these, that's okay. This is also an offset spatula, but a larger one. If you have a regular spatula, that's okay too. And so you're gonna see that this is going to start to come away from the edge. Now again, you will have one that doesn't come out so hot. But hopefully this will not be that. Hopefully we'll start off okay. And you're going to start to see that it's going to start to get done on the edges first and work its way into the middle. Here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to turn it before it's ready. This might take you a couple of times to figure out how long it's going to take, and you'll be able to adjust the heat. I'm going to lift this up slightly using my offset spatula. I'm going to give it a flip. What I should see on the other side to let me know it's done are little specks of brown. Little brown specks throughout the top of the crepe. If it has too many and it's all brown, I've waited too long, it's done, it's overdone, toss that one, start again. So you could see right here, check this out, you could see that the edges are starting to get brown and it's definitely able to be lifted up from the edges. So I'm going to, watch me, I'm going to go underneath just like that and like that. Now you see how the specks are, this is exactly what you're looking for. Now, this is going to take literally 15 more seconds to cook. Because again, we have the heat going from the top, the heat from the bottom, it's gonna meet in the middle, it's gonna cook, and it's not gonna take long at all. So quite literally, this one's done. And so I'm going to take it and just lay it down. I wanna lay it down this way so you can see, just like that. So you see how beautiful that is? I'm gonna show you the other side, and you're gonna see how the specks are on both sides, okay? That's exactly what we're looking for. I'm gonna do one more for you so you see exactly what I want you to do. And we were lucky, Zoe, we didn't have to toss that one away.
I would have eaten it anyway.
You would have eaten it, even they all taste good, right? So again, I'm going to stretch it out so it covers the inside of the pan. If you don't have a classic crepe pan, you can use a small omelet pan, that's okay. But it's important to have this be small. So you saw it didn't take very long at all. The second, third, fourth, fifth take even shorter because our heated pan is already hot. The first one, it took a little while to get heated. Now you're gonna see again, what are we waiting for?
Specks.
We're
waiting for the crispy edges.
Yeah, we're waiting for the crispy edges. And you can see, I only did this a couple of seconds ago, it's already ready to be turned. So I'm gonna stick my spatula underneath, I'm gonna give that a turn, and you see that it's all good. It's not gonna take very long at all for this one to be done. When you come back to us over there, we're gonna have muffulettas that are all done. We're gonna start to put our jam on. I'm gonna finish our beautiful story about what you say to your friend when you're celebrating Mimouna, and it's time to eat. You ready to eat?
I'm ready to eat.
Let's do this. All right, so I don't know about you, but we're ready to eat. But before we do, I have to wish you what we wish our friends on Mimouna. And so what you say is Ter Beho Utis Adu. Can you say that? Ter Beho Utis Adu. And, or if you want to just do it short, you say Terbach.
Terbach.
Terbach. And what does that mean? It means may you have a successful and festive occasions in the future. Okay? Just good fortune to everybody. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is the origin of the holiday itself. There are two schools of thought. The first is that Mimouna actually sounds like a Hebrew word, Emunah. Emunah means faith. Now, how do you think faith works in? Because the Jews had a tremendous amount of faith in God and in Moshe, right? They were going across, he was taking them out of Egypt, God was splitting the sea, they're going across the sea, they have a tremendous amount of faith. Emunah in Hebrew means faith, kind of sounds like Mimouna, right? And so some people say that it might have to do with that. The other is, in Arabic, Mimouna actually means welcome and good fortune. And so what the Moroccan population, Jews included, but everybody, Jews and non-Jews alike, celebrated the spring every year with a festival. And they would celebrate that festival and everybody would come and have a party and they would have fruits and vegetables and greenery. And so after a while, the Jews just pretty much said, well, this is what we're doing as far as Passover ending, so let's just make it a part of what we do for Passover ending. And what ended up happening is they kind of took over. And so the Jewish holiday of Mimouna actually became what everybody celebrated, and it wasn't just celebrating the spring and the new year, but it was celebrating the end of Pesach. So this happened about 500 years ago, and so that's interesting because this festival in Morocco took place prior to Mimouna actually taking place. And so it makes sense if it means to have faith, number one, in Emunah, and also to appreciate the spring, it makes sense that we celebrated on Mimouna. So all of that is great. It is time to eat. And so this looks fantastic. Really well done, Chef Zoe. I'm going to take a little piece with my jam all together. Cheers to you, young lady. It doesn't want to come on.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. What do you taste?
I taste the berries. The berries are so good.
They're so good, and it's not like overly sweet, is it? There's a little bit of tang there from the lemon for sure.
I taste the lemon.
You taste the strawberry, you taste the blueberry. The crepe is so light. It's not heavy at all, but yet it can stand up to the jam. And so it's a perfect combination.
And good texture.
Really, really good texture. It's not rubbery. And by the way, if you have an opportunity to let that batter sit for a good while, a couple hours or even overnight, do that, because the more you do that, the less rubbery those crepes will be. We didn't have that kind of time, so we worked with what we had. So, thanks for joining us, Chef Zoe. Always a pleasure. You can cook with me any day. Happy Mimouna or Terbach. Terbach. And join us again next time on CKA in Your Kitchen. Shalom CKA, when we celebrate a holiday and do some teaching and really yummy cooking. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Bye.